everybody? It is your host for Innovative Black Stations Connecting the Dots podcast. And we are here with Trillmonger, and we have another anonymous guest. We're not going to say his name unless he wants us to. What's happening?
Looking at that girl. I feel like you're looking at me.
What should I be looking at? Oh. He's like, why are you looking at me? Look at the camera. Okay, so we're here. Say hi, everybody, so that they know I'm not lying.
What's going on? What's going on?
We have a lot to get to today. I feel like I need to kind of say something that, I guess, a disclaimer, maybe, because I don't want anyone to misunderstand where I'm coming from before I say what I'm going to say. I am Generation X, as you all know, and I'm a proud Generation Xer. And being a Generation Xer, I was born into a time when hip-hop started taking over the mainstream. It was the roots of, and it was the foundation, and it was the rallying cry of the youth at the time. When I graduated, when I was in high school, something really crazy happened. I don't know, there was a girl in California, she went to the store, she got shot, and the person in the store was like a Korean store. You know the stores, the convenience stores on the blocks. Depending on where you grew up at, you know that the convenience stores on the blocks are usually like Korean, or now it's like Arabs, right? So the store owner shot her, caused a big old thing in California. So California was like up in flames, you know. They had started marching and stuff like that. And the music at the time used to represent what was going on in real life. It was a reflection of the times, right? So one of the biggest groups at the time was NWA, and that was one of my favorites, because at that point, what was going on, the violence, crack was a big old thing, violence in the street was crazy, gang violence was off the hook. You started to see the crack epidemic. It may have seeped into your family. It may have seeped into your community. You definitely were affected by crack in some way if you were a young black person in these days. One of my favorite groups that was able to illustrate that was Public Enemy. Another one of my favorite groups that was able to illustrate that was NWA. Now, NWA had a different way that they expressed themselves. They were coming from like, yeah, we out here and fuck the police and fuck everybody. Ice-T, fuck the police. He had a cop killer song he had. And the government was crazy because they were like, oh my God, these kids are saying this crazy stuff, and Bob Dole, and everybody was running their campaign at the time on the First Amendment. The First Amendment and your freedom of speech. And Maxine Waters at the time, she took the stance like, let the kids listen to what they want to listen to. Let them express themselves the way they want to express themselves. It's art, right? So I say all that to say NWA had some controversy with them, with their business dealings, and Ice Cube left NWA. And at the time, everybody was like, we get it. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So I was still a fan of his. Followed every album, did all this stuff. Okay. He went on to do great things, movies, da-da-da-da-da-da. He was still the voice of a generation. So we feel like we grew up with him, right? Same with Tupac, same with Ice-T, same with Dr. Dre, same with all of them, right? Okay. Now this man, multimillionaire, very successful. Congratulations. I am so proud to see this come into fruition. Owns a huge basketball, what do you call it, league? The Big Three? Do you guys watch Big Three basketball?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
So it's catching on. It's only been a few years, but people are starting to get it. It's people that aren't playing in the league usually, and they come and they play in the Big Three. I love it because, like I said, I'm Gen X, so these are all my favorites I see that I saw go through their career, and they're not like old. They're not playing athletically at the level of a 21-year-old, of course, but this league is perfect. Just like LL Cool J did with his radio series, Rock the Bells. If you're able to adapt, this is great, right? Okay. So, still being who he is and caring for his community, he came up with a contract for Black America. And that's even good too, because now you're coming to these politicians that you know politics is going to affect everybody's aspect in their life, right? So he comes up with a contract for Black America, and he says, okay, I have this proposal. I'm going to give it to each candidate so we can discuss it and they can add it to their agenda, because we definitely need to have an agenda for African Americans in this country, because we're always left out when it comes to politics, right? Okay. Everything so far, I'm on board with it, right? Okay. So last week, there's a tweet. Did you guys see the tweet?
Oh yeah, I think all of America seen this tweet.
The tweet came from somebody in the Trump administration. Now let me find it, because it didn't come from him. It came from somebody in Trump's camp. What's her name? Do you guys remember? I do. I know who has it. I know who has it on their page. So anyway, let me find it. Woo. I know you guys know where I'm going with this already. Oh my God. Let me find the Instagram post. Now they are pitching it like it is, like he was on board with them. Finally, we are able to let you know that we worked with Ice Cube on the contract with Black America and blah, blah, blah. So people went crazy. They were like, oh my God, he's working with them. No, he's not working with them. He pitched this idea. Each campaign had the opportunity to look at it, and they did. I still don't see anything wrong. Okay. So I don't understand how after that, he went on a media campaign explaining what happened. Because to me, it's like, okay, I did that. Here's why. Thank you guys. I'm out. I did my job. I got this together. I delivered it to who wanted to see it. How did it get to where we're 3 days into this and people are still upset? Should he have given it to Trump he was going to give it to whoever he needed to give it to. But now it seems like he's defending not his decision to do it, but his campaign. So now I'm like, how do we get here to the point where now he looks like he's really underhandedly pitching what they are doing? Everybody is like, oh no, he's canceled. We're not listening to him. No, we're not doing this. We're not doing that.
Cancel culture.
I mean, does every time you don't agree with somebody mean that you don't ever want to hear or see or speak to them again? I don't think so. Like I said, for all my life, I've never seen him do anything that would make me question what he is doing is like throwing black. Yeah. My anger came from the fact that they're not using his intellect, which his intellect led him to do this great thing, right? Write this contract with Black America, because they didn't use it in any of the things of their proposal for what they want for Black America.
Yeah.
I got upset because it seems like they're using his influence and not his intellect. Like, it seems like they're trying to play him. And he knows. He's like, hey, they can do that if that's what they want to do. And that's where
And to me, that's the old, tired Cube talking. And that possibly may be why he needs to go sit down. And I'll give my disclaimer too, because we're from the same generation. I'm a product of the '80s. Crack era. Police brutality. It's not a new thing.
No.
I grew up. One of the first hip hop songs, sadly, I knew by heart was "Fuck the Police."
Really?
Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
It's one of those things to where much respect to Ice Cube for his work ethic. Because
right.
he didn't have to do this, but Cube forgot rule number one in situations like this. Why do you think that we say "fuck the police"? Why? Because we can't trust them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We've had time after time after time after time after time where we realize that "fuck the police" isn't just a song. It's really a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, and it has to be under the conditions that we're in, and those conditions haven't changed a lot since 1993 when that song came out. So it's kind of like when you hear the general who made a movement, who was a leader of a whole generation and a whole movement, soften his stance on stuff like that. It's just kind of questionable.
Exactly.
And so with Cube, it's kind of like, you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I have no issues with him talking to both sides. That's what he was supposed to do. But the rule that he forgot was to control your own narrative.
Right. And that's what he's trying to do now. He's trying to get behind it.
And it's too late.
And it's too late because now the tweet that he put out yesterday, well, you guys are more angry at me than you are at him. You're more mad at me than you are with the Biden and Harris campaign for not having. Oh, ho, ho, ho! Now you talking. Now you want some other shit.
And this is what he digging his hole. Like,
now you want
deeper.
some other shit because now what you're saying is, with you didn't like they don't they have a I don't know 22 pages. I want to say
21 pages. Yeah.
It's a 21-page document. Let's talk about the facts. Let's.
Okay, now we're speaking on the facts. I don't know. I'm just asking because I don't know. Do anybody know what's in that black agreement?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah,
so that's what I wanted. Like, let's talk about that.
That's what I want to get to.
All the stuff we talk about now is just
gossip
stuff. Like,
if we do start to look at the details, Ice Cube starts to look even more fishy, in my opinion.
Okay, so what's the details?
For the simple fact that everything in his black agenda plan has already been proposed by.
Not everything, but a lot of it has.
Well,
things,
I'll say a good 90% of it.
Absolutely. The things that pertain to the majority of black people are already on the table. The things that aren't pertain to black entertainers, actors, and people that do like movies, like the back. So that's good. And if you say to us, if he would have said that, more people would have understood and been like, okay.
I haven't watched any whole interview, but I watched the clip. I watched the clip with Como.
Check this out.
He said that. He said that it has something to do with people in the movie industry, the entertainment industry. He said that.
And that to me is weird. Because he did an interview with Roland Martin.
Yeah.
And he's not promoting that interview. He's promoting the interview with TMZ and the interview with Chris Cuomo.
Yeah.
And Roland Martin, being who he is, doing his own thing as a black media person.
Doing his due diligence. Reading each contract with Black America, being a participant. I mean, let's not forget, these people that are entertainment aren't the only people that have been working behind the scenes to get these things passed. Let's not go past like Congress and Senate and like think that rappers and athletes are the liaisons between what we need and what the president signs off on, because Mitch McConnell has all these things on his desk that he's not pushed forth. So my thing is, what happened to the black plan you had from 2016? Y'all are giving Joe Biden so much responsibility for a position he's not taken yet, more than the person that's been there already, had a black agenda in 2016, has a Blacks for Trump sect, and even the Blacks for Trump cannot communicate to me what he is going to do. He came here to Atlanta. He had Polo the Don. He had all this stuff, and I still don't understand what he's doing that is so different, or proposes to do that is so different in 2020 than 2016. So I'm still confused. I don't understand why we're still having this conversation. Like, it went from, I'm just doing this because I need somebody I need both sides to understand what black people need, because I understand what black people need. Okay, thank you. Yeah. To, well, why isn't it, like, how did, you mean to tell me, and this is not true, a lot of the stuff that you have in your contract with Black America is not in any of the 21 pages of Kamala and Joe Biden? I don't believe that. And to me, I think that's the big issue, because I think, say for instance, Ice Cube is not a politician by trade. He's an entertainer. He's a rapper. He,
yes.
Act like he does a lot of things, and not a lot of them deal with politics. And so, what I would love to see our entertainers and people that aren't in the political field do is realize it's okay to ask for help. Like, what I'm saying? Ice Cube is looking crazy because he jumped out here by himself.
Right.
And, when he got caught out there by himself.
In his black Scully, in his beard, and his black thermals.
And so.
Just trying to defend.
He made the mistake of, like, and not just him. I won't just single him out, but look at people like Diddy right now. Look at, people like that have been around just like us these past 4 years. Why are y'all just now at the last minute, you know what I'm saying, trying to hop up and get in the spotlight and take the attention away from people that have been putting this work in for, you know what I'm saying, the whole 4 years, 8 years, the past 15 years, you know, to, you know, these are the people that really can't help you. They know what it's like out there on the battlefield that you in there and you getting your
right.
butt chewed, you know what I'm saying?
But
so,
they also know that the government knows how powerful hip-hop is and that they are influential to the culture and to a group of people. And we talked on a previous episode about Puffy and his stance of like not voting, holding your vote hostage, and coming in like 4 months before the election with this foolishness. And he's sitting up there with Naomi Campbell, and they're like, "Yeah, don't vote." He last week, I don't know what happened. He did a 180. Like he's like, "Oh no, it would be irresponsible of me," and I applaud him for that.
I think somebody sat him down and was like, "Negro, like, look, like this not a game."
So. Yeah.
and it sucks, but just like going back to my either point, look at all these. Shaq just admitted that he's voting for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Snoop just admitting that he's voting for the first time. So what does this tell you about these people? These
people are not in your tax bracket, and they have the money to create the world that they need to create.
Exactly.
You know, and I know, everybody that has money doesn't mean that you are more intelligent or you are more politically savvy, because you have the money to create the environment that you want to. So
that's why you have Lil Wayne's out here. That's why, you know, he doesn't care about certain things. That's why he's openly on record time and time again saying ignorant stuff, because, like, once again, he lives in a whole different world where he doesn't have to worry about any of the things that we have to worry about, or so he thinks, you know.
Yes.
But it just shows you the difference in mindset, you know, and the same people that we're looking. Hey, I like Lil Wayne just like anybody else in the rap game, you know. He, like, once again, he's me. He's a product of the 80s. He's, you know what I'm saying, he's been around long as me. But at the same time, like, we went separate ways. And that's okay also, but we have to stop looking at these people. You know, I look to Lil Wayne to be a rap expert. I'm not looking for him to speak for me politically.
And see, I think that people think that it's cool that Donald Trump thinks that he's going to get the cliff notes about what black Americans need from Ice Cube. And, you know, added to his one-page document of what he has as his agenda for black Americans, which none of which he has taken. Like, you met with Ice Cube for the optics. You met with Ice Cube, so this girl, and I still have got to find this tweet, so she could go out there and say, hey, we just got the okay to tell y'all. Like, what were you hiding that for in the first place? Like, who did you need to get the okay from to, like, why is everything so backdoor alley when it comes to black people supporting Trump? Like,
so my question, so what's the reason that people are mad at Ice Cube again? Because he's not qualified to speak on this topic, is what y'all saying?
No. I'll think, honestly speaking, people, because, like, once again, Ice Cube announced, he announced this black agenda in July. Like, that isn't new. But I think, once again, you just present it to both sides, and which he did. He presented it to the Dems and the Republicans. But where he messed up was he didn't control the narrative. The thing we talked about in the last podcast, I was here, Killer Mike.
You said
just a segue into, you know what I'm saying. He made the same mistake that Killer Mike made with the NRA. In the NRA, and, you know, I know Mike, good friends. I get my hair cut down there. Shout out to Ernie. You know what I'm saying? It's not personal, but it's just kind of like, we at war. You know what I'm saying? Did the NRA stand up for Philando Castile? No.
What narrative was you looking for him to control? Like what didn't he control? That's part of the narrative.
Okay, going back to my further point. So, Killer Mike went and talked to the NRA, tried to sing like the good Negro, like he wasn't the same Negro that all of us here are, and they flipped the script on him. He went and did an interview with them. He thought everything was good, and before he probably got back home,
they edited it.
Yeah, they had edited it. They had flipped his words. They had made him like a fool, and he had to do just what.
Go on a tour and try.
Apologies. Okay, so like this not how things really went. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And
Ice
he walked
Cube
in
is controlling his narrative. I mean, you can't control what another side.
You can, and I'm gonna tell you how.
Can't do that. If it's the opposition, they're the opposition at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Now Ice Cube is defending his side of the coin by doing these interviews. Because if Ice Cube didn't say anything, it'd be like just when Killer Mike went to go meet with Kemp and didn't say anything.
That's the issue.
What's the problem with him coming out and telling y'all what he's doing with these men? Because before he was doing these interviews, people was like, oh, Ice Cube is endorsing Trump. That's what I read. That's what I was seeing people were saying. Now that he's done the interviews and explained it, me myself personally got clarity on the situation. And secondly, he's telling you like this is what I want. Now to y'all point of that being already in the plan, okay, I didn't know that, and I didn't know what. Like I said, I wasn't all the way aware of what the whole plan was, but you know, that I can see where that's a problem that he didn't do his
Now,
research.
no disrespect, I'm about to break everything you just said down, really simply, because I like you, and you're a logical person. You're gonna think everything through. You're gonna read stuff. You're gonna sift through it. You're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna wait. Thank you for being you, but let me give you a hint that everybody in the world is not as reasonable as you. When you look outside, you wanna know why it is like it is now? Because people aren't as reasonable as you. If we had more J Blacks in the world who did sit back and waited on plans
and read it, right?
The
Then that would have worked.
That's the thing. I'm not waiting on that plan. My whole life, a president, politics hasn't done shit for me. So I'm not necessarily waiting, but I'm not about to kill a man for trying to make a difference.
And I'm not killing him either.
I'm not the one out there doing that.
As I said before, the disclaimer is like I love even now. Like I'm not throwing Ice Cube away. Like I still like him. I'm still if the police pull me over, it's probably gonna be fuck the police playing low while they walk up to my car. Like you know what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is by controlling the narrative.
Now he's
they're ahead of you. Like you ain't got to be on defense.
That's our problem. We so worried about what people saying about us than getting shit done. Like that's been the whole problem. We so worried about the opinion. Oh, we're not controlling. Man, we got our own platforms. He's coming out and speaking. Let this man do what he do. Like what? How did it harm us? How did this harm us? And this
because now they're misleading people into thinking that
misinformation.
They're misleading people into thinking that.
How are they doing that? By using the media, right?
Yes.
What is Ice Cube doing? He's using the media.
But he's not.
I think you're missing what we're saying.
If he's definitely not doing this, and you know, if he doesn't have a side, he's neutral. He just has this thing. He put it out. They did what they did with it.
And I got an issue with that too.
He's not saying that anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying.
That's the whole narrative has been switched now. Now he's looking like. They keep tweeting his tweets, retweeting his tweets. So now it looks like he's working with them. Mm-hmm. I didn't believe that in the beginning. At first I was like, why is everybody saying that? Like, let him do. But now I'm like, oh shit.
And that's the thing.
He changed the whole shit up. Like, well, everybody's more angry at me. Mm-hmm. Now you've taken this opportunity, because everyone's talking about it, to say, oh, you're more mad at me than you are with Joe Biden and Kim. Wait a minute, where did that come from? Where did that come from?
I don't know where that came from.
Not only is it not true, but it's like, why did you, if you're neutral.
That point is, I mean, he said he's independent, but to that point, it's just like,
yeah,
I don't care about his political, I don't care about none of that. But the thing is, Biden and Harris are the people that's in power. Like, why are we even worried about Ice Cube? He's not in power.
They not in power.
That's how it should have started. That's how we should have let it.
They have a chance to be in power. Trump is the people in power, and he met with them. So why are we mad with him?
This is one thing my father always told me: don't bring your ass over here if you don't want no smoke. You know what I'm saying? Did nobody ask Ice Cube to get up and do anything? You know what I'm saying? Nobody asked him. And now that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate it.
No, I appreciate what he did.
But if you come over here and jump in the water, you can't get mad when you get wet. Because if you do, I'm probably gonna go get a light socket and really make you mad. Okay, like you know what I'm saying?
So to that point, he jumped in the water. Mm-hmm. People accused him. Mm-hmm. He went on the platforms and explained what he was talking about.
And he went backwards.
And he controlled his own narrative.
He didn't say the same thing he said beforehand. That's what Kim is saying.
Okay. And that's what I say. I haven't watched the full interview. So
if you're going to stay in the middle, stay in the middle.
I mean, and that's the thing too. That's what we have a lot of on social media. People that don't know what's going on as far as concrete, these 3 plans. Yeah. They've not read them. So they don't have a response based on the facts. They have a response based on people coming at Ice Cube. So they're just defending Ice Cube. Yeah. And I get that. Like, yeah, defend Ice Cube. In a situation where it's not, you're defending him to spite yourself. Because if you defending him, now you look like you're defending what they're doing because they've taken this opportunity to promote Ice Cube. To say to people that are unaware of these 3 plans that Ice Cube is it's not based on what they're doing. It's based on what they're not doing. So now Kamala and Joe Biden look like because they're like, thank you, we saw it, we'll read it later.
Right.
Now it's making them look like they are shunning Black America. No, who the fuck is Ice Cube? Right. At the end of the day.
And where have you been these last 4 years?
And where have you been? Like 20-something people ran for president. Let's start there.
To me, this is like turning your homework in at the last minute.
Did you give it to Julian Castro's campaign? Did you give it to the young man from Texas that ran for president? What's his name?
And you can't tell me you ain't got the reach to make it happen.
Did you give it to Cory Booker? Like, what are we really saying here? What did he really do?
And if he did, by chance, why are these people not coming out and defending you and saying, hey, yo, you know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day, really, what did he really do? Like, what did he really do? Besides, get all this chatter going on the internet so that people can say, oh, Trump really does have a better Black agenda.
Me personally, even though it's been like y'all told me it's been that agenda, and I'm sure it have. I know Ice Cube didn't just come up with it. I'm sure it has been an agenda, but it's just the celebrity effect, like we talked about last time. Like, if anything, I feel like he put more pressure on the candidates to want to do something for Black people, because it's this big uproar. As people, like we've already, like the protest that's been putting the pressure on, but it's now that the people that don't look into all this, that's not into politics, he connects with those people. And I feel like now that he's speaking out to them, it's like it's more pressure, like, okay, bro, let's do something for the Black people.
Yeah.
Besides that, okay, so I'm going to play a clip from the interview he did on Roland Martin, okay?
So they had their planning plan, and they saw things in the contract with Black America that were directed, directly to Black Americans, and not just to all minorities. And they asked to speak with us. I always told everybody, as soon as we finish the contract with Black America, or not finished because it's still a growing document, I told everybody that I was going to meet with both sides, and I don't know why they didn't believe me. This is not a partisan issue. It's actually a bipartisan issue. And we have to talk to people who have the power to make things happen. Now,
Agreed.
they asked to speak to me and so I can explain some of my concepts of the contract with Black America.
I'm still on board with all
Who
this.
is they? Was it Donald Trump? Was it his campaign team? Was it officials in the White House? Who's they?
I've never met Donald Trump a day in my life.
Got it.
And I've never been to the White House. Okay? So it was people on his campaign. This chick who put out the tweet, it wasn't her. I never met her either. I don't even know who she is.
Katrina Pearson. You don't know who that is? Never met her.
Okay, he don't even know her. She wasn't there. Katrina Pearson, that's the girl whose tweet I'm talking about. The one that went on Twitter was like, Ice Cube is on our side now. Ice Cube.
Which even stronger proves our point from earlier.
We got with Ice Cube, and now Ice Cube, we got his Black agenda. Okay, let's go.
No, I've not met her.
Okay.
But the thing is this, they looked at the contract with Black America, and they saw that their plan was lacking, and they wanted to implement some of the things from the contract with Black America into their plan.
Okay, what's today?
As far as the date,
Yeah.
it is October the 18th.
They still have yet to add anything from his thing to the Trump thing.
But I think this is what I got from the clips I did see. He's just like people protest to raise awareness. He's giving them this contract for awareness, like this is what we want. He said, I'm not expecting them to do. I mean, he ain't say no, I'm not expecting. He said, I don't know if they're gonna do anything about it, but this is what we're putting on the table. That's
Okay, right. Okay.
All right,
And I
so
say you're welcome to do it. And I would say the same thing to the Biden campaign. They're welcome to do it. Some great ideas. I haven't, seen too many people disputing the contract with Black America. Everybody understands that it's needed and it's necessary. So I don't mind anybody in the public sector or in the private sector using parts of it, asking me about it, just the facts of what happened. This is the Biden campaign basically said, you know, we love 85% of your plan, but we want to talk after the election. That's fine. I'm willing to talk after the election. I just think both sides of the aisle need to take this serious.
So,
Okay. Okay.
line.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest with you, I don't see what's in the plan they released that even mirrors what's in yours.
Well, like I said, you know, both plans between both parties are lacking. So, you know, this is what they did. You know, you have to look at the contract with Black America and see where the overlap is. But, you know, the thing that what I try to make them understand is, you know, they have programs, and both parties have programs that are built for minorities and people of color and diversity and urban and these words that don't include us, because they include us, but we only get a small portion most of the time of these programs. So we have to train all politicians that we are black people, black Americans. Most of and I'm
So what he's saying is they are lumping black people into this people of color thing. And so that's still not guaranteeing that we're ever going to get the money. And that's both sides. Because in politics in general, like he said, they come up with these words, urban and people of color. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you. And he is speaking up for African descendants of slaves. And I get that. But all of that has gotten lost in... Because now he's getting pissed off. Like, okay, go.
You can
go.
tell he's getting pissed off.
But listen, this is not, okay, wait, let me fast forward because I need to get to this point right here.
Did anybody watch a full interview?
Yes, I've watched
You watched
all
the
of
full
them.
thing?
I've watched
the full
all
ones?
of them.
Okay.
We've been getting ready for this. Oh, yeah.
and I don't know if we can ever get up out of that.
But with your contract, it lists these 13 different points here. And again, in their plan, what do you see in the platinum plan they released that mentions that mirrors anything that's in yours?
You know, you got.
Hello?
You know, if I'm looking at it,
Hello?
plan and direct.
Hello?
VC money.
Hotel, no homework was
To
done.
black investment companies up to $40 billion.
Hello? This should be a simple answer. You're on Twitter with these people, right? What did they do? What did they do with your shit? You spent all this time working on.
So they the Trump side, that's what the platinum was in response to the
Listen.
contract.
That's just actually.
Now, what?
The platinum program was
That's Trump's plan.
That was in response to the contract with black people.
These are all three separate documents
What I'm
that have
saying.
nothing to do with each other.
That's what I'm saying.
He
He asked him what was the same from the platinum. I'm thinking the platinum. He's making it seem like the platinum was in response to Cube's contract.
It's not. None of them
So
are in
why
response to anything.
So why would he know what's in there? I mean, you feel,
Because
not saying why would he know what's in there.
if
It's
you
public
call me,
information.
if
I mean,
you
not
you
why
have
he's in
you
there.
have a plan for Innovative Black Station. I have a plan for Innovative Black Station. He has a plan for Innovative Black Station, right? You called me and told me you needed to look at my plan so you can help fix your plan. Okay.
So from my understanding,
What's on your plan?
Cube put the things that he didn't see, right?
No,
That
he
he didn't
didn't
see in
put.
those
He didn't
plans.
look at his plan. He has his plan. He just has a plan. Trump's plan is a one-pager. He has a 20-some-odd pager.
Okay, I'm the Democrat, you're the Republican, she's Ice Cube. All three of us have different agendas for Black America. And so basically with Ice Cube, he took his plan to both parties and say, here, this is what I think Black Americans need. You know what I'm saying? I may not have
So
looked at
now,
both of them.
but think about this to add to just build upon your scenario. You're Ice Cube with your plan.
Yeah.
There's the Congressional Black Caucus who has a plan.
Right.
There's the Black Lives Matter movement that has a plan. There's the ADOS. They have a plan. These people represent hundreds of thousands of other people.
Yeah.
But Ice Cube,
NAACP, it's plenty.
The
I feel like
NAACP.
He should have consulted them before he did this.
No, because he did. Ice Cube did not work alone in his endeavor. He has a lot of people that worked on him with his plan. His plan is just as legitimate as anyone else's plan.
Right.
And because of his influence, they picked Ice Cube. Trump did. But also Trump picked Herschel Walker, Kanye West. So he's just like whoever is a black person. Like he's so culturally clueless. He's just reaching for any black person that's willing to, because most black people don't even want to fuck with him because they realize he's a monster. He's not a negotiator. He doesn't want to negotiate with you. He has an agenda. But he knows that it's time to vote.
Yeah.
So I need somebody black, because you don't give a fuck, because you've completely isolated black people. You've been the president for 4 years already.
Right.
And I'm just asking, Democrats don't run off that neither. I need somebody black. They don't run off of that neither.
But check this out.
I'm just asking. Let's answer that question first.
Sure,
Do they not
yeah.
do that?
But
Yeah,
check
they
this
do
out
too.
though. In general, yes. But we talking about this situation.
Voluntarily.
Yeah. Did who threw? Now he talked about parties. Which one threw him under the bus? We only talking about one side throwing him under the bus.
You saying the Trump side threw him under the bus?
They did.
How did they throw him under the bus? Because they said he's on board with him?
Because you think that he met with them to put this
I
team
don't think that.
together.
I don't think that.
But check this out.
Some people do.
But check this
That's
out.
the thing,
The majority of why we're even talking about this is because most people misunderstood what Ice
Okay,
Cube
let me let him
intentions
keep.
were.
Let me continue with this part.
100 billion, that's not going to black people. In fact, that's just actually the infrastructure funding program. That's not actually 500 billion going to black people.
So the infrastructure program is a part of what he put out in 2016 that he never got fucking done because he's
Trump
so
put this
busy
out,
building
right?
the wall.
Trump
I'm
put
talking
it-
about
okay.
Trump. So the infrastructure program is to build roads, bridges, tunnels in this country. So the infrastructure program means we're not giving nobody shit. You know what you're gonna have to do? Apply for a job, deal with whoever I appoint as the leader of this initiative in their racist whatever, because if you're dealing with him and you are a light in his eyes, most likely come from the past, you're either a racist or you got some
This
fan
man
in some
literally has
flame.
white nationalists on his cabinet.
So
you know what I'm saying?
so whoever he appoints to be the head of the infrastructure program of America, now you got to go through them to get a job. And if you're lucky, you're gonna make whatever the minimum. You see what I'm saying? Like there's a whole domino effect. Like it's so much bigger than.
Systemic racism. Like that's.
But
once
just
again,
his representation of this thing is like turning into. He's the face. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me keep going. This is Roland Martin talking, by the way, who is a black media, black news host on his own black platform, just like us. But you've not seen Ice Cube retweet this interview, have you? No, he doesn't even talk about this anymore. If you didn't watch Roland Martin, you wouldn't even know he was on here because Ice Cube is pushing his interview with TMZ and Chris Cuomo.
And once again, I like Ice Cube and I want him to be well and I hope he gets together. But it kind of makes me mad also because I know why he's not sharing that interview because I watched it.
Because
You know what I'm saying?
because Chris Cuomo, let me tell you what CNN, like I like the Cuomo's, CNN is alright. But they are, the time, they're just doing it for ratings, like, for real. Like, Roland Martin, this is his passion. Like, he came with facts.
And not only that, Roland Martin understands the culture of where we come from. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a different dynamic. And not saying that he's any, more accredited than Cuomo and CNN, because he's not. But from a cultural standpoint, understanding us, being at the cookout, knowing what the cookout is, like having your back, knowing what police brutality
And I
is.
think he's a part of the NAACP. But anyway,
Yeah.
let's go.
Actually, the infrastructure funding program. That's not actually 500 billion going to black people. And then when they say
how many billion is the other one given to black people?
no, that's not. What I'm saying is that's not even. They list this thing under Black Economic Empowerment and Access to Capital. It says seek infrastructure funding that will lead to widespread growth in the annual $500 billion federal contracting opportunities. Even that line right there is not for black people. That's federal contracting opportunities for everybody. So that's not, so they're trying to make it sound like, 500 billion to black people. It's not. That's the actual annual program overall for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now he's like, yeah, I know, but now he's really reading these.
Or not talking to the a certain administration, because we're on another team, and they win, then what do? Just sit back and wait?
Oh, no.
I agree with him.
I agree with you 100% on that because
all of them got flaws in their plan. All of them got holes in their plan. Like I said, they put out this stuff, not me.
Right. I'm just trying to find
and told them what I think. And so from there, they ran with it and did what they wanted to do with it. That's not.
And you don't have a problem with that? I'm not stopping it like that's the end. I'm stopping it because this is my thought. Like, you're cool with that?
My concern more is making sure that both of these candidates understand that this money has to be directed to black people. It's a lot of language in both plans that are iffy, tricky, and are there really to make sure we don't get the money. So it's really up to people to engage and make sure that money go where it's supposed to go.
That's good.
But
That's
I
true.
agree.
All power to the people.
We've been lied to for a long time.
And once again, I definitely going back to us. I think Ice Cube's heart is in the right.
No,
place.
I don't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah.
I'm mad that he put himself in a position for them
that's
to.
What I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Like, we at war, man. That's kind of like I ain't saying you can't go talk.
You
to
can't
people,
negotiate with no terrorists.
Listen, you say it's casualties in war. Like you have to take something. Like it's not gonna be squeaky clean. Like he risked his image to get our point across. That's a part of the war.
Okay, here we go.
Well, I've been challenging them. I want you to come talk to black media. I know other African Americans who've been meeting with them on PPP, other issues as well. The thing for me is this here. I judge folks on what you do. And what I look at is Donald Trump goes to Atlanta, makes this big old announcement about his platinum plan, and I'm sitting there going. So, for instance, I'll pull it up. When I see this plan, and then I see in here where he goes, make Juneteenth a national holiday. Well, first of all, that could have happened in July, but Senator Rob Johnson of Wisconsin still have been blocked in the Senate. Donald Trump said nothing, tweeted nothing, did nothing. He said in here also about the anti-lynching bill. Same thing. Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky stood up, blocked it in the Senate. Donald Trump said nothing, did nothing. He in here talks about prosecute the KKK and Antifa. Hell, when they had the debate with Joe Biden, he tried to shut Joe Biden down when he was quoting Christopher Wray, the FBI director, who said the greatest threat of terrorism in America is white domestic terrorism. But the thing is, when I was sitting here, and again, I looked in May. No, hold on one second. But no, here's my point. In May, when the Biden this is what it's called, the Lift Every Voice, the Biden Plan for Black America. I went through the entire plan and broke it down. Then I went through the Trump Platinum Plan and broke it all down. The issue for me is that when it comes to Trump's plan, there's no specificity. There just simply isn't. Even when you talk about programs, I will say when I go through Biden's program, when he's talking about state small business credit initiative, expand new markets tax credit, improve and expand the SBA programs that most effectively support black-owned businesses, and laying things out that are specifics. That's the deal. I'm looking at a 22-page plan from Biden and a 1-page plan for Trump, and I'm sitting there going, and I went through Trump's plan. I'm like, there's nothing there. It's a lot of words. Not really, because it's only 1 page. But the deal is, I'm like, dude, you being the president, you want to make this whole deal how you ushered in economic prosperity, which really all started under Obama beginning in 2010, but it is lacking. Do you believe that the Trump campaign greatly overstated your involvement for the purpose of them being able to say, we have attached ourselves to Ice Cube? And you believe that you were used politically for their purposes as opposed to really what happened?
Look, I knew whoever I engaged with would use that politically. I don't care about that part. The part I care about is getting something done. Look, my plan is called the Contract with Black America. So all of them lacking when it comes to that. So that's what I'm pushing. So anybody who's going to implement those plans into their plan, then I'm going to take a look at it. But both plans are lacking, and that's why we become educated voters for real.
That's
and
what I love.
Pick who you want to pick.
That's all. That's
at
it.
At the end of the day, for us not to engage with both sides of the aisle to fix this, which I think is an American problem, that to me ain't gonna help us in the end. What's gonna help us is once we, realize how much power we have. Now, you said that, of course, Trump didn't stop all these things or didn't mention these things. Okay, maybe it was before he knew he needed the black vote as much as he do. You never know. This is what deals are made of. So I don't know what they're gonna do.
No. That's actually that's not the case. No. I can tell you personally. No. Hold up. You said before you need a black vote. I just want to just correct something, Ice Cube.
Now we
I'm
on
gonna
now he's
finish. I
defending
just want to
Trump.
correct
No
something.
key.
I met with the White House in 2018.
Realistic,
They
like,
told
it's-
me directly in
Can you call me
2018, we think
It's
we
almost
can
over.
get 20% black male support in the 2020. So it didn't. They were fully aware of that.
Why'd you meet with him?
Huh?
Why'd you meet with him?
I'm a journalist.
Why'd you meet with him?
I'm a journalist.
See, now he's
What
getting
you mean with him
defensive,
to
and he
talk about?
talks fast.
I'm a journalist. I met with them to
This is
talk
also why
about
he's not
public
friendly,
policy issues,
because he
to
knows
ask
that
them
he
very
talks
those
about
very
Public
questions.
policy issues, and
Right.
my thing was to get 20% of the
No,
vote.
you're right.
Okay.
No, not 20% of the vote.
Did they think they was gonna get that for free?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. It's over.
From what I just heard from Roland Martin, it's not even like he's not even like, and even from what I'm hearing in general, like from all the people that got something to say about this, they're not even like giving constructive criticism. It's all
That's
out
what
of,
I'm doing.
it's
I'm
all
giving
out of emotion
constructive-
because
yeah.
I don't like Trump, and Trump has a bad record. I'm not saying Trump is the same. I'm not saying Trump is the best person to meet with, but a lot of people are mad for emotional reasons. Oh, Trump, basically they saying Trump is a fuck nigga and you should fuck with him. I understand that completely, but at the end of the day, like, you have to put your emotions to the side to get things accomplished. We haven't had things accomplished because our emotions are in the way as black people. That's what I feel. And that's what I got from Roland Martin. Like, Roland Martin, the whole time he talking about some Trump did it. Instead of saying, Cube, I looked over this, I feel like you should have did this way. I feel like you should have added this, or you should have handled it this way. He's just basically saying, forget the people that's in power, don't talk to them at all, and we got to still try to figure it out. How are we gonna figure it out? Like,
Okay, in the perfect world and in a normal political climate, I would say you're right, Jay Black. Because in a normal political climate, when you have two people that the people
Yeah.
Are torn between,
normal
and I'm on the
circumstances,
fence, and,
definitely.
I don't know. We need to look at this lot. This dude the way his whole campaign, he's built all this shit on racism, on trying to put black people in jail. When he says law and order, he's gotten to the point where even protesting, he wants you to go to jail for protesting. You want me to go to jail
In the
for
great
protesting for the things that are in this black agenda.
Right.
But if I go to the street and say, hey, we're not gonna stop until we get this done, you want me to go to jail? That's not somebody I want to talk to.
And
because
once
if you don't
again,
know,
yeah.
after 100 million people been out in the street protesting and burning shit down, what black people want, then you're not paying attention and you don't need to have the job you have.
And that's what's my concern, because Ice Cube keeps saying that, well, you know what I'm saying, I ain't got nothing to do with that, or this. It's like, bro, you're representing a whole, whether you realize it or not, you're
They
representing
are
a
not
whole
using
nation
your
of
intellect.
people.
They're using your influence. We love you because of your intellect. We
Right.
love you because of who you are and what you've done and what you represent. They are using you because we love you.
what has been I guess we can call it a tactic. What has been effective in getting our agendas accomplished?
Okay.
Violence.
There's a lot of different.
People ready for that? Are people ready for that?
What happened last time we tore up Atlanta?
But are people ready
No,
to
no.
be on?
answer my
Clearly they
question.
are.
I'm
All
answering
these-
yours.
No, that worked. That worked.
It
but
worked,
that's,
right.
So we know that worked. So
How-
is people ready to continue to do that on a regular basis?
If you look
if
at
it's
those
going-
boarded up stores around the corner, I say yes.
One
Because they haven't made any changes. Because
yes,
that's
they
from that
have.
one time.
We got plenty of change last time they just burned down. Atlanta.
No. I'm not saying changes in regards to the law. I'm saying they still boarded up from that incident. I'm saying, okay, we know that violent, and I said that. I'm on board with that. But are people willing to be violent until everything get met?
I am.
But are you violent right now?
I will be if
Are
need
you?
be.
No, you say you will be. We know it's a problem. When are you gonna be violent then?
Hey, well, I can't answer that.
We're because listen,
myself.
not only that, but and again, this is all great. I'm not mad at Ice Cube, and I'm still saying that. There is a season and a time for everything, and I don't think people realize that. Like, this is all great in 2019. This contract, when there was 20 people that you could have picked from, would have been amazing. There's a time and a season for everything. With COVID and with politics, I'm starting to learn people don't understand when
Once
to do
again,
what. Like,
this not power. You're not Tyreek. You can't walk into my class late and keep getting away with it. Not gonna happen. So once again, and everybody watch Power gonna catch that. But
yeah, I don't.
it's one of those things to where, once again, there is a time and a place for everything. It is like, and once again, not knocking Cube to the point of his effort. But like once again, let's take the heat off for Ice Cube. Once again, I don't want this to just be about Ice Cube. I want this to be about this situation because he's not the only person that has done this, and he's not the only person that has got their ass handed to them for taking a route that he did. And he may be okay with that, but it's kind of like, if I can keep you from, if you Batman, you come in the hood, I'm trying to keep you from having bullet holes in your cape, you just listen. So did it, vote or die. You know what I'm saying? Now, that was a whole movement when he first came out with it. Then where did it go? He built the steam up. He let it die down. He flip flopped, said this.
Because that
said,
was only
vote.
for that one election. Like
Right.
it didn't
And so
translate
once again,
into
these same people who dive in at the last minute, who use their influence because they know, you know what I'm saying, the effort and the impact that it can have. You know, Ice Cube not over here making a black agenda because he just feels like he's gonna make it in the gold. No, he's like, oh, I'm Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? I can step up. I can try to help inform people, and I can try to help my black people, which he did. But once again, I don't care what you say. Everything in life is a process, and when you try to skip steps, you're gonna fall down a few, and that's what's happening to Ice Cube right now. And I'm sure he's cool dealing with it, but it's kind of like, man, in my life, I make mistakes just like everybody else. I'm not trying to make it seem like I coulda or woulda did anything different, but it's kind of like, man, like one thing I do know, I don't go to war by myself unless I got to. Like, you know what I'm saying? And in my life, it hasn't been many times where I've had to go to war by myself because I have checked my truth beforehand. I have talked to people. I have been like, yo, what do I do in this situation?
Right.
It's not my, you know what I'm saying, expertise. I'm not going to send a demolition expert to do sniper work. Like, that's just not how war works. And we at war right now, and so
right. Like, this is not the time. Like, you literally are, like, with the whole Breonna Taylor case and the Attorney General that's not investigated. Like, people are dying. People are not being brought to justice. We are screaming Black Lives Matter, and you're screaming law and order. It's not time for me to write a contract and talk to you about it. That's over with. That's over with. The minute I saw that young black girl die, and nobody is held accountable for it, and you're at this rally with that Attorney General saying he's a star because he didn't hold anybody accountable for killing this young black woman, you think I want to write a contract and sit down and talk to you now?
So what do we do? Because I understand that's fucked up, but that's emotional.
It was that's emotional.
It is emotional because you mad at you next to this man, like you mad at the decision he made to be around a person that didn't convict somebody. That's not going to change.
That's only
nothing.
one of the things. That's one.
This is why I always tell people: never let your emotional intelligence override your intelligence in itself. And so,
well, what is that saying? That's just a symptom of the sickness. Like the whole thing with being racist and just white nationalists and all this stuff. They're trying to rewrite and reinterpret the Constitution. Like, it's way past.
We on land with them though. So at the end of the day, no matter who's in order, we still in the United States with racist people. We still have to deal with racist people inside of politics, outside of politics.
But we're not gonna let them. We're not gonna let that design the laws. I don't want the laws to be.
So that's why I say you got to take your emotions out of it because you got to deal with them regardless. Now let me come to you in a way you might not like me. None of that, but respect, like not even respect me, but let me come to you in a way that, okay, you possibly can understand to where we can get something on the table. To with them, again, they're using violence to get our attention. They're using the police to get our attention. They're taking action. Us, we just hooping and hollering. When somebody jump out there, we kill them. It's like, okay, we keep saying, oh, we need to come together. When are we going to come together? When are we going to do all this stuff that we know we need to do? At the end of the day, like, Trump on some fuck Trump, fuck all of them for real. When are we gonna come
stop
together?
Being emotional.
Huh?
Said stop being emotional.
Don't I say that all the time? I say that all the time. That's I agree with you.
So I just think that there's nothing about him that says that he even gives a fuck about a contract with Black America.
Exactly.
He only thinks that he needs one and that he needs to make people think he's working on one because he's so close to the election and he's lost completely the black vote because he's done all these other things to put the freedoms and liberties of black people on the line or out at all whatsoever. So that's what I mean.
I think one of the biggest misconceptions that Black America has is that we all got to be on the same page. I'm so tired of folks saying that. Like, I'm sick of it because we don't. Like, even look at the military. There's an Army, there's a Navy, there's a Marines, there's an Air Force. There are different sectors. You know what I'm saying? Now, the Marines might catch a ride into battle on the Navy ship. You know what I'm saying? But once again, we got separate orders. You don't even know what all my full orders are. So therefore, like, that's my mindset. We ain't got to be on the same page. I'm okay with it being Black Panthers because we're going to need them sometimes. I'm okay with some of us being lawyers and doctors because, like, if I'm a Black Panther and I get arrested, who am I going to come to? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, once again, we ain't got to be on the same page. We got to be in the same book. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of different chapters. And so
a bunch of different ways. You have to come at it.
And so we have to be okay with people disagreeing. We have to be okay with people, you know what I'm saying, doing things their own way. The biggest lesson I can tell black people, don't get in each other's way. You even see gangs operate like that. This your side of town, this my side of town. Do what you want to over there, but if you come over here, it's going to be some issues just because I don't deal in that. You know what I'm saying? So,
and since when did you have to try to lure people and sneak support? Like, Jeezy came out and supported Biden and did an ad for him, and Ludacris, they came out and did ads, and, you know, I'm sure, I don't know if they asked them to or not, but they are doing it. They're not backhandedly, you know, well, I'm supporting Joe Biden, but let me just put this out here, and, Trump's not, like, it's not done that way. Like, y'all don't see how it's weird?
People are more vocal about their support for Biden and Trump, basically what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like they are, they're standing behind something that they feel has some.
But I think a lot of, like, because all the people you name were entertainers. I feel like even, like, in past elections, like, the Republicans really don't have the entertainers. The Democrats and the people that's running in that, they usually have the support from entertainers.
But why?
I'm not going to say that's unfair to say because
why.
you have to look at, now, you're just not in tune with their entertainers. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Kid Rock being.
No, you're
Right.
right. You're absolutely right on that statement.
Yeah.
But I'm saying as far as, like, even Republican entertainers, not even just Trump, but Republican entertainers making a big hoopla, oh, I'm voting for this person during the election time. I don't see a Republican entertainer talking about some vote or die or stuff like that.
That's kind of like in Georgia. This is a red state. How many red candidates do you see out here campaigning like the blue ones? They don't have to. It's kind of like if you come to my party and you start a fight, I'm not worried. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know, the thing about it in Georgia, like you said, it's a red state, and I don't know, a lot of people don't watch TV because everybody has, like, you know, Netflix or whatever. The campaign ads are horrible.
Ooh.
They're borderline.
They're almost comical.
They're such an insult to your intelligence. It's ridiculous how
they try to scare you.
They take
defund the police.
But it's just like social media. Like, I want to speak something before we get too far deep into this. Like, basically wrapping this up. I agree with what Ice Cube did. I applaud him for what he did. But I don't want him to get so far into defending his thing that he met with them so that it looks like he's endorsing them. That's all I'm saying. Like,
the message get mixed.
Yeah. I don't want him to give people that leeway or leverage to even, you know, and he's even come out and say, look, I'm not endorsing this guy.
Shutting the fuck
but
up is
your
free.
actions are, you know what I mean? Like, right. Well, then now you need to shut up.
Shutting the fuck up can hurt you, like, because when you don't say nothing.
No, this is a week
check
now.
this
This is a week now.
At this point, he can shut
Yes.
up. I get that, but at the same time, it's just like, man, we live in this world where you have to answer to everybody, or they still gonna say
You
some
don't.
shit,
Check
but they're
out.
still gonna have their opinion.
Why does Donald Trump get away with everything? Because he's like, fuck y'all. I don't care what y'all
Right.
think. You know what I'm saying? And you hold him to a totally
speaks,
different account. You hold him to a totally different standard. If Donald Trump come in here and curse Kim out, and a black man that comes in here and curse out, who you gonna be mad at first? Be honest.
Me personally, I'm gonna be mad at Trump.
Because you're different. And what did I say about you being different? If we had more people like you in the world,
I think
we'd be great.
any black person will be mad at Trump because first off, you're not about to disrespect a black woman like that. First and foremost, as a man.
I mean, that right there, even that's gone. Like that, that's not everybody's.
Because if you come in here and curse Kim out, and Donald Trump come in here and curse Kim out, I'm gonna get to you. Trust you're gonna be dealt with, but not before Donald Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because like once again,
right,
you in this circle. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
Culturally, you know what I'm saying? We might can work through some issues. It ain't no negotiating.
No, but that's my thing.
When
There's
I get done,
no
I'm
negotiating.
be like, yo, bro, what was that you said?
So
he ain't getting nothing.
Listen, there's something spoke to me and on all this that's going on, and it's now the campaign ads and all this stuff is kind of geared toward black men. Like they have like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris campaign. One of their commercials is a freestyle battle. I've seen
like the McDonald's commercials. Like,
I've seen
strippers. You seen the strippers?
I've seen.
But that wasn't really
get your booty to the poll.
That was just more to go vote.
That was just to go vote, but right, and that wasn't by any campaign. That was a group of people that got together and just got strippers to tell people to go vote, and they're just educating people on, attorney generals are elected or appointed, or what the elected officials or what appointed officials mean, and like some of that stuff. So the 20% that they're talking about, even Ice Cube spoke about this on a couple of his interviews. So right now, the 20% of black men, they said they're going to get to vote for Trump. 20%. So what tactics are they using specifically to appeal to black men? And I'm glad I'm in a room full of black men. So the tactics that they're using to try to appeal to black men, and I'm just going to go from the last 4 years on. So if you think of black men in America, right, you have your conservatives, right? They go to church. They're probably married, probably upper 30s to, say, 70, 80. They might be a part of the deacon board. They might be a part, or just your people that aren't, I don't know.
Accepted by the in crowd.
Accepted by the in crowd. And then there's another part of black men that, they're like heavily involved in social media. They're young. They know what's going on. They're hip. They know the top songs. They know the top dances. They know all the pop culture. Then we got another part of black men that are just go to work, blue collar, take care of your family. I watch sports on Sunday and do it all again. Right. What I've seen on social media is black men that a lot of them are QA9, which they don't even know, unknowingly. And this is my thing, like, you don't know that this is what you're doing, but every once in a while you'll get something in your inbox like, did you know that they're stealing children? Did you know that kids are being kidnapped on a van? Did you know? And I'm just like, what is, like, I know you. We grew up together. You're not really that deep into politics. Like, where are you getting this from? Like, why
I
are
got
you?
This one dude.
And then it's like, and then another day, like, and it's always after you say something political, and then it's in your inbox. That's what I mean about why is it so backhanded and shady? Like, why don't you comment on my post like everybody else? Like, how come every time I say something, now here you are in my inbox? Yeah, but did you know that Joe Biden was with a little 4-year-old girl? Like, what the fuck are y'all? Where are y'all getting this shit from? And then it's like, if you're supporting Trump, just say that. What the fuck are y'all doing? Right. Did you know? Look at this video of
like
Joe Biden.
Like they tell you the secrets of the Underground Railroad or something, man.
It's and like, then it's the most chopped up, fucked up video.
I think too, though, even just because, like, that is some bullshit, but just because a person is against Biden don't mean that he's with Trump. I think we should stop making that assumption too. Like, they might not fuck with neither one of them. They might just see. I see a lot of people that see the bullshit.
No, but see,
just because I give you some dirt on.
You can't get caught in the middle.
He is so.
I don't have to like neither one of them.
Check this out. With me, and once again, I may be petty, but this how I grew up.
You either on in or out.
If me and you friends, we friends. If we not, we not. If you stand in the middle, I'm gonna assume you the enemy.
But this is one of those scenarios, and this is what I mean about people don't understand the sense of urgency and the timing of the situation that we're in right now. We have an election in 2 weeks.
Why is it a sense of urgency? What have a president? What honestly? What? I've been here 30 years. A president has not affected my life in 30 years.
But what I'm saying is, like, if we're going to use
this is not no normal election, bro.
Name something specifically to you that a president. No, hold on. Let me. Before I ask this question, The first time I felt the direct effects
Oh
of a
my
president
God, I
was this
can't.
coronavirus because it was a lack of leadership.
That's it.
Okay,
That's
the
not
first
enough
time.
for
That's
you?
the first time in 30 years.
Right.
That's
That's
in 30 years.
That's
and
why
I had,
this
probably
urgent.
like 7
That's why.
You're answering your own question.
No,
Yes.
I understand that, but okay. I forgot what I was about to
No,
ask
you were saying like, what does the presidential election have to really affect you that it's so urgent?
Yeah, what in your lifetime?
This is
besides
it.
this, okay. When has the president ever affected your life? Like
Ever?
specifically.
I want him to ask
specifically
me.
you.
I want him to ask me, but he asked you, so I'm gonna shut up.
Desegregation. We can go back. Where you want me to start
talking about
modern, or you want me to start like what I'm saying now?
Whatever, however
in
the
your
president has
lifetime,
affected
in your
your life,
lifetime,
your
so-
lifetime. You personally, like, damn, I really felt the effects of this.
Medicare.
Okay, that was what the Obamacare and all that.
That was before that. Medicare has been around well before the Obama administration, prior to what most people think.
Okay, and who was that? What president was that?
That is the first 1996, so that would probably be Clinton.
So what? 96. So you haven't been affected by a president. What?
That's not what you
16?
just asked me.
No, I did. I mean, I asked you what has affected you, but I'm just saying it's one thing in the last.
There was
20
one,
years.
you know
okay,
what I'm saying?
Okay, just name something else.
Let's
Let's say in the last 10 years, how have you been affected by the president?
So Obama would be with Obama. In the last 10 years, it would be Obama and Trump.
The 21st century police plan,
Okay,
It's been put in
how did that affect you personally?
body cams.
How did that affect you personally?
I'm an activist. We've been pushing for that for the longest. We were on the front lines of making sure that police wear body cams here in Atlanta.
Okay.
Direct correlation.
And what difference has that made?
A lot of cops who have had their body cams on now, you know what I'm saying, or in jail. when they
I
didn't
haven't
tell the
seen
truth.
that, but okay. I feel
Yeah, I
it.
mean, if there weren't body cams for a lot of these things, we would just have to go the word of the victim and the police officer. And usually what happens is, as we know, they go with the word of the police officer. So
But
body cams.
we just seen Breonna Taylor. We seen George Floyd.
And
Yeah.
another misconception I'm tired of.
But
too,
that made the
Big-
people mobilize. They may not
Right,
have
right.
made them
And
mobilize,
so
but it made the people mobilize.
we're
Everything comes
expecting-
from the people. Just like Ice Cube even said
Nothing
that. Like, I
happens
can do this all
overnight.
day, but unless y'all make it happen.
Hold on. What you just say?
Nothing happens overnight.
Okay.
You know what I'm
that's all I
saying?
like. Okay.
We can agree on that,
But
right?
let me- but-
can
but-
we
We
agree on
agree,
that?
but hold on, we got to keep that same energy when we come with everything. Nothing happens overnight.
But let me answer
but
your question.
But that's the difference between a war and a battle. I feel like you're getting caught up in a battle when you say, I
it's
don't
the
care.
war. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, one thing you always say, I be saying like, oh, let's let it develop and all this.
Well, let
that's
me
a
ans-
part of the war.
can I
It
answer
don't
your-
happen overnight.
Can I answer your question?
What was the question
About how does the
president
president affect your life
How has
personally?
it affected you in your lifetime? Yeah.
So when George Bush went to war with Iraq, my brother was sent to the military. That's stress on your whole family if you ever have had any of your siblings, your father, your aunt, your mother in a war. So the president doing a war affected my family directly. My brother came home, he had PTSD. At PTSD, he got addicted to drugs and alcohol. My brother died in his 50s. So the decision that was made by that presidential administration to go to war with them specifically, not only did that, but then 10 years later, when his son was the president, 9/11 happened. I lived in New Jersey. I was on my way
and
to.
it ain't no district. Was your brother drafted?
No. But if you want to go there, it's not in my lifetime. But my father was drafted because he was sent to Vietnam. We can act like it doesn't affect
like,
us.
We literally lost
what
the whole
what's
tribe of
personally
black men in
affected
my
you?
Okay,
family.
so
because of
I'm
Vietnam.
going back from then. So that was that, and then 9/11 and how the economy crashed and the people lost their homes, and I lost my job because of that, because I worked for the stock market. Because
Was that because of a lack of leadership from the president?
yes,
Okay.
now 2020, this president is not
Stock
only
market
trying to reinterpret the Constitution and change the women's rights, health care, try to get Obama to change that. I mean, trying to redo everything Obama did. This is not, even if, to answer your question, even if I said never, now it is. Like, now this presidential election is different. It's not that
And
you're.
I can agree, but
it's
it's
not
like
that
every
you're-
election, everybody, oh, this is the this is the most important
I've
election.
not seen anything like this. I think as of
Right.
today, we have more people voted already in the first week than they did in the whole 2016 election during this
Yeah.
time. So it's like up 700%. I think people get it. Like, I think some people get that there's a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Some of the people in my social media circle, they don't get it. They're just still.
Want me to tell you another interesting dynamic that I'm seeing also? Because I have a young white woman that I'm friends with on Facebook who voted for Trump last time. And now she's like super pro Biden because she's seeing the stuff that she voted her own interest, and now they're working against her. You know what I'm saying? Her insurance being taken away from her family. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Obamacare, they hated Obamacare, but now that she needs Obamacare and she ain't got it, who is that falling on?
So
you know
the 20% of black men that they are pursuing, they're pursuing with a whole bunch of bullshit, and they're insulting your intelligence.
They're expecting you to be the stupid.
They're expecting you to be dumb and not know what's going on and not do your research and not know that Hillary Clinton does not have little kids in her basement and all that dumb shit that they're putting in your inbox. And my thing too is, like, if you're so confident and so strong about your candidate, why is it always this inbox and backdoor basement shit? Like, come out and let's talk about it. Let's put the facts on the table. You know what I'm saying? Like, last time with 2016, like, we are like, the way you look at the world is great because you're young, and I love that. And I don't know if age kind of taints you because you see so much shit.
Honestly, I feel like I'm getting to that point.
This election, like,
I'm starting to get tainted.
What, Rosie?
I'm starting to get tainted. Like, I was that Rosie person at first.
Yeah, I mean, because you
taint.
want to be Rosie, right? You
Yeah.
want to think that there's two people that you could kind of talk. That's not what's going on. Like, this guy.
I think it's the opposite though, because I feel like the older people feel like, oh, I have to pick a side, and you don't have to pick a side. That's what people have to understand.
Like,
I don't have to pick a side.
You
people
always
say-
gotta pick a
people
side.
say
Not,
that
not
you
when it
gotta-
comes to this. Not when I can start my own shit. I don't have to.
But the thing
like
that
I'm
frustrates
picking
Are
me.
you going to
black and
start
white
your own shit by November 3rd?
Right,
No,
right.
I'm
Thank
trying-
you.
I'm starting my own shit by what I do every day. It ain't about this damn. That's what I keep trying to tell y'all. Like, this election is not about to change
And
my
what I'm
life.
trying to get you to realize is you're not the first person to come through this bitch.
Like
you know what I'm
Marcus
saying? You're not the
Garvey.
first person to think about this. No, in the famous words of Nas, no ideas are written under the sun. It's never
But
what you do.
I'm
but
not
how
saying
it's
I'm the
done.
first person, but I'm saying in my 30 years here, I see the same cycle. So something has to change. It has to start with somebody. It
Like,
might take
do they?
criticism,
So,
but
do you think that the younger people are really just gonna have to get to the point where they go through like what we went
Young
through?
people about to have to get rid
man,
of
the
these
young
old
people,
motherfuckers.
listen, on a whole nother aspect, y'all thought working for 40 years was the way to go. We don't do that shit.
But
We don't
guess
work no
what?
job
But
for
see,
no
the
40
entrepreneur.
years and
So this
retire
is
and
how
none
I
of
know
that.
they don't get it, right? Because, okay, yeah, right. Working wasn't the answer, but the working people that worked for 40 years, like the generation before us, they all owned property. Like, you guys
We
own
own properties too.
I mean, but no, I mean like home ownership in the black community.
We do that too. If you go to Camp Creek, it's a whole. I know a whole
I
neighborhood
mean, I
full of
get
black
it because
people.
in Atlanta, of course,
We're in
in
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
But I'm
Ohio,
saying in the
Ohio, I'm from
U.S.
Cincinnati.
period.
I know.
Okay.
I got a homeboy I went to college with. He got. I mean, not college.
I'm
I went to
saying
high school with. He got 7
overall.
different properties.
I think we're getting caught up in a real
Overall.
Yeah.
And then too, okay, with entrepreneurship, it's great, and we encourage people to do that, right? But two, how strong is your business if 2 months into the
Right. That's what I was about to get
like
at.
like I get entrepreneurism is great. It's a great way to go.
How strong is your business? If what?
If 2 months into a pandemic, you have to shutter. Like, small businesses are the ones that are suffering because not only did the pandemic, you
Big businesses are too though.
like some
Black
of them
and
are
white business. It's not just a
shuttering.
black thing. It's not just a white thing.
No,
It's
not
an
white
age
or
thing,
black. I'm saying
or it's
small
not an age thing neither.
business.
All small businesses. It's not an age thing. It's
But
not a
if
black
you
and white
work
thing.
for a company and you shut down and they shut down, they're gonna give you a couple of paychecks. But as
There's a lot of difference
entrepreneurs,
from Delta shutting down.
entrepreneurs should even be more concerned because they're trying to take Obamacare away. Like, I don't I don't understand. Like,
But
entrepreneurship
you
is
saying
great.
entrepreneur like that's an age. That's not an age.
Why?
You got
What is
50-year-old
I don't know where age is.
Because you saying the younger people they got this mindset.
No, because you said, you guys thought working for 40 years. You brought the age into
No,
it.
and
I
said,
didn't
no, I'm
mean
saying
that.
the
I meant
child-
just the status.
I'm saying the older. You saying that the younger people don't get it. I'm saying the older people been doing this same cycle of things, and I use that as an example. They're working for 40 years, and nothing is changing. Nothing. We still having these same conversations.
I have a huge problem with the nothing is changing mindset.
Because so much has
Because
really.
what you're feeling
Nothing
right
is a
now
broad
is
statement.
literally the volatility that comes from change. You know what I'm saying? You know why it feels like it's feeling outside right now? Because things are changing. You want to know Why it's so volatile? Because they feel it changing, and they're doing everything in their power to keep things at the status quo.
But I don't think
Okay,
people
hold on.
understand.
Let me reword because nothing was the wrong word to use.
Yeah.
But we're still going through the same cycle.
And
every president, every time it's time to vote.
Because we have to fight for everything we have. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what he's saying. I don't know why you think that nothing has changed.
Okay, and I
Things
said nothing was
changing.
the wrong word.
Yeah.
You know, I'll be on here every day and saying that things are changing. I'm saying it's slowly
Yeah.
changing. I say that every day, so nothing was the wrong word to use. But at the same time, like, we still fighting the same issues. Like, when are we gonna do something different?
And this goes back.
We can't. We have to
Why
fight
can't
for
we?
everything.
Why
Not,
can't- see, that's the
not we
problem.
can't. Not we
but the
can't.
thing
But we
is-
have to do something. Like,
and I feel like this
yeah.
new generation, they're a difference maker because I'm one of the most like, you know, if you want to fight, we can fight. If you want to talk it out, we can talk it out. Like, we can handle this however you want to. But one thing I've noticed about my niece, who's a young activist, also I'm proud of her. But like these young people, like where I'm like growing up, we got taught by a generation that was like, yo, keep your head down. You know what I'm saying?
right,
You know,
because
don't cause no
you're from
trouble.
Mississippi.
Yeah, you know where I'm from. So, but now, like, my niece, and so I was sneaky, I was daring when I was young, but I did it so I wouldn't get caught. My niece does not give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm in jail.
And I'm
for
sure
being
my
out.
parents feel that way about our generation.
Yeah, but
like our audacity.
And it's just not her, it's her friends too. I'm like, yo, like, y'all kind of lit. I don't say that to them because I don't, it's like, yo, like.
But with
That kind of go to your point of violence. Like, it's like, okay, we ready for whatever consequences come with those actions.
But what I'm
and
saying,
it might not be the best way to go about it, but it's getting changed.
and I don't necessarily even care if it's the best way. I always tell people, even slow progress is progress. So what I've seen, and I can noticeably see the change between, because luckily I had the privilege of meeting my great-grandfather. You know what I'm saying? I had the privilege to meet my granddad and my grandmother. I had the privilege to have my parents. And I literally can, even looking at their generation, I can see the personality traits and the change that went, even leading to me. And when I have kids, I'm pretty sure they're going to be a little bit bolder and a little bit, hopefully, smarter than I was because I'm able to instill all of that into them. So I see the change. If I'm not around to see the end of it, I'm okay with that because I've done my part to make the meter move. So I feel like we have to quit expecting. So, because, like, once again, you 30, I'm 35. You're a lady, so I'm not going to tell your age, you know what I'm saying?
I'm the oldest, though. So, I mean, but it's definitely 3 different generations.
Yeah.
I mean, if a generation being 10 to 20 years, right?
Mhm,
but
right.
see, the thing is, when you say, you know, what do we have to, we keep doing the same thing, nothing's changing. When I say we can't stop doing the same thing, what I mean by that is we can't stop fighting because the powers that be, they want you to, they want free labor. Like, the closest they could come to getting free labor
That's the way this
and
country
not
works.
having, that's what the whole goal is. And it's always been, ever since they freed the slaves, they've been trying to figure out how to get them back to be slaves because that's when they made the most money.
It's prison.
We are in a capitalistic society, and I understand that. That's great. But what you don't understand is, and this is where the Republicans and the Democrats come to fight because of the policy, because great, we all want to make money, but you can't make money if you're sick or if you're dying. You can't make money if you're going to get cancer because there's no
2020 is teaching us
regulation
that.
on the oil refinery down the street. Yeah, you work at the oil refinery down the street and you make $50 an hour, but your grandma has cancer.
The whole
because
town has cancer.
The whole town has cancer because the air is polluted. Like, you have to regulate shit. Trump is anti-regulation. It trickles down.
Check out the
This
Devil
is
We
not.
Know
This
on
is not.
Netflix.
When I talk about Trump, I don't just mean the presidency. I mean the people that are helping him.
Trump
I mean the
is a figurehead.
senators,
He's a
the
representation.
governors, the police, the sheriffs, all of that. When I say him, he is representative of all the people underneath him that have empowered and emboldened him. And the people that he is catering to are the people that vote. And I don't care what y'all think until the black voter numbers rise. They're not going to try to cater to you as a constituency until the last minute because they know you weren't paying attention. They study you. They study black people.
Literally, analytics.
They
literally.
study. That's why social media is sending you all this bullshit because they're studying you. Because you know how they study
Who
you?
did Russia pick out amongst all the United States citizens last
But this is
election?
another thing. You are talking to them from this level. Russia. So, the Russians. And it sounds like some ghost that's hovering
Yeah.
over the... No. When you play games on Facebook, they have analytics. And they get and they study your behavior. The behavior of black men, the behavior of black women, the behavior of this age group. They break it down. And so when you run for president, you run for governor, you run for this, hey, what is the behavioral pattern of the black people? Because social media, everybody's on there. So if you want to know
Ages 18
anything,
to
you go to
25.
them. That's why Facebook, Twitter, they're fighting like, oh my God, how do we stop this? This is getting out of control, all these conspiracies. And they know who to push what to.
The Great Hack, watching on Netflix is awesome.
We talk about this all the time on previous episodes because after 2016 and we saw what they were doing, we were like, oh shit, that's how Kemp got elected. That's how you become the referee and the player. Like, it's not, these aren't people you negotiate with. People that are willing to cheat don't want to know the rules of the game.
The playing field is not level.
You
contrary to
cannot
what
tell
you
the
may think.
people that are going to cheat what the rules of the game are because they don't give a fuck.
Right.
So what you did was you met with this guy because you're trying to get the black vote. The black male vote, it's not easy because black men won't vote. They know that. They know that you'll say, you know what, fuck it. I don't fuck with neither one of them. None of them are doing nothing for me and I'm just going to stay home. So now they got strippers on the pole. They got rappers debate. They got Herschel Walker on the commercial for Kelly Loeffler. You know what I'm saying? Like, they study you. And so they know how to try to get you to vote for them. Don't ever fall into that thing like, oh, well, my vote doesn't count because if it didn't, they wouldn't be doing all this. You don't think they would save their money and buy another yacht or something
out
if
of
it
their
didn't
way.
matter? I see a lot of that, and I'm sick of.
Boldest people is the
I'm
hopeless
sick.
people.
I don't ever want to hear anybody say the lesser of two evils because there was 23 evils and none of them were good enough. And so now, you think that, oh, we don't pick, they pick. They is you. They is you. So I just want everybody to vote. I don't never tell you who to vote for. Vote for who you want to vote for, but be prepared to deal with the consequences of the actions that you have. Nobody wants to deal with consequences. Nobody wants to have accountability. You just want to be out here doing shit and think the same thing with COVID. You can tell how ignorant we are. Look how we haven't gotten control of this shit.
Right.
They opened up everything. So that means you go? Like,
Right.
what are you stupid? Like, people are dying. The numbers are going back up.
Nobody thinks it's going to happen to them. Nobody thinks it can happen
Nobody
to them.
thinks, and everybody's like, it was so funny, right? In 2016, all the memes. Oh, this is me when Trump gets elected, and it's a picture of people in the cotton fields. You think that won't happen? You think they won't make it so that all these companies that shut down after COVID and the only job now is at the Amazon over there in Stone Mountain, and everybody got to go work over there,
You
and
watch.
they could lower they're going to lower you to $5 an hour. You think they won't do that?
And that's happening now. People are going to work and having to renegotiate their pay. They having to.
But hey, you know
I'm
what?
saying?
And that's why some black women, they get exhausted because they are always the constituency to pull people out, right?
Yep.
So the black women are like, you know what? I don't even care anymore. Let Trump win. And now maybe one day you'll wake up and say, damn, I need to get involved and find out what's going on. I've heard that. I've even seen people go that far because it's really exhausting trying to tell people how important it is.
Have you ever watched Handmaid's Tale?
No,
Hulu?
I don't really watch a lot of TV.
Yeah. Well, have you heard of it?
Is that the one with the red dress?
Yeah. So I like it because it's super reflective of how society is now, and people are like, "Man, this is wild," but like it's basically the story of, in a short, oppressed white women. But in detail, it's about this woman literally goes to work one day, and after she gets off, she goes to the grocery store, and her car doesn't work anymore. And so, but they notice in the grocery store there's only women's cars not working.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so they passed this executive order, you know what I'm saying, where women have to get permission from their husband to spend money. They have to, you know what I'm saying.
That's how it used to be,
Like
you know.
all the money that is in your account now will be transferred to your closest male of kin. They'd have full say of everything that you do, where you go. And it starts off with them taking the rights of women's bodies. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Controlling your birth control, controlling if you can vote or not. And it kind of just makes you like, damn, like, this is how stuff is kind of like right now.
And people are so focused on them telling you to wear a mask,
Yeah.
you're not realizing that they're trying to take away your right to an abortion.
Right,
You're not realizing that they're
right.
trying to take away your
'Cause
right
it
to.
all goes hand in hand.
You're trying to take away your right to vote, so you won't even have to worry about it because when they closed down all the polling, you know, thank God the NBA, the
Yeah.
NFL, and all those people stepped up and said, you know, we're gonna offer our facilities
Yeah.
because, like you said, Fulton County, over at State Farm Arena, they had so many machines that are open. That was just like it stopped the clog up, right? Because we're still seeing 5 and 15-hour lines here in Atlanta,
Right.
and I haven't heard Brian Kemp say anything about it. Have you?
He's not going to.
He's already running his campaign. We're going to have to talk about this next week because we've overgone our time. But Brian Kemp proposed a new medical plan. And just like being number one for the COVID reopening plan, once again, Brian Kemp is proposing a medical plan for the state of Georgia that will, the state will take over, like Trump was saying. We don't need Obamacare. We got to get rid of Obamacare. So we're going to let the states take over your medical thing. So if you make under a certain amount of money, you're going to have to work at or volunteer or do some sort of community service to get this. There's a part of it that lets you, the government will give money to your company, so it'll make your premium go down. There's a whole bunch of bullshit in there that sounds good, but when you look at it,
So while you're already working hard,
so while you're right, so it'll give some insurance to 400,000 people, but then like 4 million people won't have insurance. So you have to read, because they're just rushing trying to do something so that by November 3rd you can say that, oh, we're doing something. And you think that Brian Kemp hasn't already started campaigning, you're crazy, because he has already started campaigning. So we need to be aware, and don't wait until November 2022 to know we need a governor that is not him. Well, that's my personal opinion. If you like him, you like him. But I would want you to tell me why, because I used to be like him. Like, I look at the good in everything, but when the good is not backed up by any concrete reasons, I have to stop being like that, and I have to think, okay, well, yeah, you're bugging.
okay.
So, all right.
I'm that old person with a sign that do not trespass. So I'm gonna shoot you if you come over here. I don't care if you good, bad, in between. Just stay from over here. We gonna be good. Cause don't nobody know how to act right now, so I gotta treat all y'all the same.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up, y'all. Thank you, Trollmonger, for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
I hope you come back. Jay Black, do you want to say anything?
Good
Say
show.
Black probably fuck y'all, man.
Like I say, bro,
I feel like we've been
how I
double
feel.
I
Y'all
feel like
how y'all
we've been double teaming you, so you
and that's
know.
cool. I still
No,
feel how
he
I
has
feel
his
like.
own. He was like, nah, fuck that.
I'm
That's
be on your
cool.
side
I
next
still-
time,
listen,
Jay Black.
Listen, I listened to everything y'all said. I considered everything y'all said. I still feel the same way I felt at the beginning.
And
Because-
I respect that
no,
shit.
I get
I
it.
respect the hell out of that. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope that this sparks a debate at your house, because we're going to have to vote soon, y'all. I mean, if you haven't already voted, make sure you vote and get your voice heard. And if you think you have a better plan than the next person, please put it out there, and you know, just be real. Like, everybody, let's put our stuff on the table. We got to
Hold on. What's he just say? If you got-
just be real.
No,
If you have a better plan,
Just do what?
put it out there.
Oh, okay.
No,
What was our whole episode about?
I never disagree with him putting it out
Hey.
there. I love that he put it out there, but I'm just saying.
Come at the king, you best not miss.
Yes. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at CTD_ATL. Make sure you subscribe to Innovative Black Station on YouTube. And we will see you next week. Peace.